So we're a textile recycling nonprofit, and our main goal is to divert fabric waste and textile waste from going to the landfills. So this is the warehouse in Brooklyn Army Terminal. So I'm just gonna show you around. What happens is that FABSCRAP would partner up with different companies in the fashion design district or like just the garment district, and then they would send over these bags to them. And the stuff in the black bags are stuff that have certain patterns or prints or logos that are not available to the public. So then items that are in here would have to be manually sorted through and then recycled. So then these are the bags that cannot go into the volunteering sessions. The brown bags are stuff that are non-proprietary. And what that means is that stuff can be reused again, be seen by the public, and the companies don't mind if the general public just like reuses the item for their own creative projects. As a volunteer, you guys would come in for 3 hours at a time. So what happens is that we would come and we would get this large bag. These are the stuff that the companies have thrown away, and most of the time they would have the fiber content. So if it's 100% silk, then we would sort it into the mixed pile, because we would only sort by 7 different categories: trash, spandex, 100% poly, wool, cotton, mixed in paper. So the volunteers would have to take off the fabric, and then paper goes in paper, obviously. And then if it's 100% silk, then this also goes into mix. So right now, we don't have like the fiber-to-fiber technology to filter out and recycle through the poly, wool, and cotton. But then we do this because we just want to sort out how many pounds of each do we get from each company. And then anything that has a stretch probably has spandex with it, and spandex cannot be recycled. So we sort that into this pile, and I'll show you what happens to it afterwards. We weigh every single category. When the pile gets full, we would bring it over to a shredding company in New Jersey, and then they could shred it to make like wall insulation, carpet insulation, car door insulation, into this something called shoddy. Shoddy is the shredded up material after these get recycled. And then because spandex cannot be recycled, we put that into the other side of the room, and I'll show you that. This is the pile for the spandex, and like I said before, spandex is anything that has elastic or stretch to it. And then because they cannot be recycled, we leave them onto this corner so that we have those silver bins over there. So there's just like the different piles. We have just like whites, blacks, pinks, blues, reds, everything. This is the reuse room. After the volunteers come over and do the 3-hour session, then they can have just like come into the room and get whatever fabric they want, and then they get 5 pounds of free fabric, or if they want it additional, it's like $3 per pound. Even if you're not volunteering, you can still come in and you could shop, but then it would be $5 per pound. FABSCRAP is especially really important for not only like the fashion industry, but then it also acts as a really good resource for student designers or like designers who want to test out different materials, especially when they're first learning about the fashion industry. And then it also allows like just like hobbyists and just students who are involved in DIY projects but then are not like necessarily majoring or working in the industry to have access to all these different fabrics, and then they know that they're doing it affordably and sustainably. In addition to allowing just a lot of fashion design companies to recycle their items that are not needed anymore, because without FABSCRAP they would have to directly throw all these fabrics to the landfills, and that not only has an environmental impact, but it also just doesn't allow for us to have access to these quality material. So it's like a win-win on both sides. Oh, nothing there. You sent in X amount of pounds this year, and then this is sorted into X amount of... I was like, oh, it's my friend, and nobody came in. Let's go. Okay, so... Oh, there's a hole in this one. That's what happens. And And then I saw on the website, I was like, oh, like we're accepting interns. But then the deadline was like a month ago, so I sent them an email anyway, and I was like, hey, like I know the deadline is up, but I was wondering if I could still intern for you guys. And now I'm here. But for real though, the deadline was like in August, and I sent it in like September. Basically describes how I do everything.